don't crack if black people do crack. It's true. No, real talk though. I came here tonight to really thank a person who when I was 14, I used to open up magazines, and I used to see a guy named Dave Andrews. And he used to do sick tricks, and me and my homie like Scott Obradovich, and we used to really be stoked on the raver, man. And then I never thought years later he would sell my boards, and he would put the amount of money that he put in my pocket, and Matt's pocket, and Danny's pocket, and everybody else. And I think that some people think that this is like, oh, a celebration, and it's all cool, and it is. Why? Because we beat the industry, you guys. We beat the industry. We did something that in some people's minds wasn't done by Mike and Tony. What they gave us was our royalties. Back then, a lot of guys would make $700, $800, and their company would make $800. And their company would walk off and not say one word to them about that, you guys. These guys gave us our money. So that's all I'm saying to you guys. We beat an industry that was actually not really truthful to its riders and gave it to itself. And at the end of the day, I stand there on stage prideful in the fact that I made $1 a board and I made 5 figures and was like, and my dad said to me one day, well, you probably got a lot of people to thank, huh? And I said, I do, because I hear all these differences in how many people, what they make and stuff, but we made $1 a board, put together something organic, loved each other, family, treated each other like friends. I used to call them every day, am I still on? And they're like, if you call anymore, you're off. So you have to understand that a lot of us in our lives, I was a black kid from Oakland who never really made that much money and had that much belief in myself, and now I believe so much in myself and love myself so much that there is no way in hell that I would stand here on stage tonight and say anything but I love these people, and to be honest with you, I could not be who I was today without them. And quick moment of silence for MT, because he's in this place. He's in this place right now, MT's here. But I'm also giving props to people like Jamil. Jamil ain't here no more. Giving props to him. Giving props to Sean Sonner, who ain't here. Kid Erickson, who ain't here. Okay? It's for everybody who ain't here on 8th Street, but for everybody else who ain't here too. Because you know what? We just loved it. I love this man. I love all these people. And I couldn't have been. Love lets you be free and let you do and let you be who you are. And I'm one crazy ass nigga and having a good time.
was an anomaly in so many ways of how it succeeded, but I just want to say I skated for the Bones Brigade. And there was a skated for Vision before that. That's when Ron Allen and I met. We were on the same team before 8th Street. He came and slept on my couch when I was like 12 years old a couple times. And there was a contest out in Las Vegas, and I was on the Vision team. They flew me out there without a return ticket, and were supposed to get me a ticket home or drive me home. And they actually left me at this contest. And that's when I met Mike Tanansky. He was hanging out with Brian Lottie when these guys were scheming to start 8th Street. And Mike took me under his wing that night. Well, he bought me a plane ticket. Well, the story doesn't end there. So, anyways, Mike got me home safely that night. Those guys never even inquired about me, what happened to me or anything. But shortly after that, I had an opportunity to get on the Bones Brigade. And 8th Street was just starting, so I was a little timid. I didn't know what was going on, but all of my friends I grew up with in my hometown were gravitating to this new project. And the Bones Brigade was the most, glorified, exciting thing in the world to be a part of at that moment in time. So for me, it was the ultimate opportunity. I jumped on the Bones Brigade and started seeing all my friends succeeding in a way that I couldn't. I felt like I was suppressed in being able to do the things that I wanted to do with my skateboarding at that time. These guys were going on all these trips together. I wasn't getting to go on the trips. I was hearing about them. And then there's this contest that came up in Houston, Texas. So, out of desperation, because I was told by the Bones Brigade and the team manager there at the time that the team was going to this event. And as an amateur, this was a pinnacle contest that you had to be at. it's not like nowadays where you can just have a cool outfit and have a great graphic and become a pro skateboarder. Back then you had to prove yourself at these events or you did not make it to the next level. And I knew that. So this contest was so important to be at. And I remember they were leading me on, yeah, we're going. And then all of a sudden they say, oh, Pal's boycotting this contest. Like, boycotting the contest. I mean, for what reason do they have to boycott the Shut Up and Skate Houston contest? I never even knew, never found out. So out of desperation, with my tail between my legs, I called Mike Tomansky and Tony and said, do you guys think you guys could help me get out there? And they said, yeah, we'll get you out there, but under one condition, you're gonna ride for 8th Street. Yeah. So I didn't know how I was gonna tell Pal that I was gonna quit, but I jumped on that flight, and they brought some boards. I switched my Pal board up to an 8th Street board before the contest, and in the hotel room, Mike and Tony sitting next to me. I called Todd at the team manager at Pal, and had a pretty interesting conversation about telling him I quit the Bones Brigade. He made me reiterate to him several times before he actually accepted the fact that it was happening. He said, you're quitting the Bones Brigade. I want you to hear that. I want you to say that to me several times. And I said it several times. And the reality is, that's when my relationship with Mike and Tony's, well, it started a little bit before that, but that initiation of our relationship, really, I mean,
they knew what was going to happen.
I mean, the inspiration that I got around being around this group of guys was nothing like being around the Bones Brigade. Yeah. Bones Brigade was, to me, was after learning what a real family vibe type, sort of organization felt like, the Bones Brigade, I realized, was a facade. And shortly after that, or at that event, Tony won the contest in the pro division and I won the amateur contest. And I turned pro shortly after. But
and then he kicked my butt.
Well, the rest is history, yeah. But it's that was a magical moment in time, and most people would never have thought that there's more to this. 8th Street, really, I loved everything Pal stood for, and I still appreciate a lot of the things they did, and I respect a ton of the guys that were a part of it, and a ton of the things, all the products they built over the years. But 8th Street, a young, brand new company with a bunch of underground new pros on the scene that didn't have these big glorified names. The video productions that Stacy was making versus the video productions 8th Street was making, the money he was investing in that, the ghetto-ass cameras and editing equipment and soundtrack. Chef Minot came out and put the Bones Brigade in the grave. Disrespect to Pal, but I'm just going to be real. 8th Street reinvented skateboarding at that time.
Yes, it did!
I have to say one thing. I grew up with Danny and I grew up with Damon. And I have to say that when we used to skate this little 8-foot ramp in the backyard of Damon and Danny's house, we tried to teach Danny how to actually do inverts. When he failed to miss his hand and slapped his stomach on the coping, he stood at the bottom of the ramp, and we weren't laughing at him. We're thinking, why can't he do an invert? He was already doing Les Twist. He was like 5 years old. We're asking, why can't you do an invert? What's the big deal? He looked at us at the bottom of this ramp and said, when I get older, I don't need to do inverts. And we were sitting down there saying, what is this kid talking about? After what he's done at the helicopter, after what he's done with the Great Wall of China, and we're like, can you just do an invert? No, can't. I won't do it. He did ho-hos, he did all the stuff that he didn't need to do it. But as a kid, and I gotta tell you, Danny, when you did inverts, you did plenty of inverts then, but you remember that day when we were there. Uncle Bob
I
was
did
there
say
that
that
day.
the inverse will be irrelevant someday soon, so what's the point of learning?
Exactly. And you proved all this
But I did
wrong.
learn them just because they had to be learned. Of
course.
But
Just because, just to be there.
really relevant.
Oh, you're the two arguing.
Just to make the point. Just to make the point, it's the same thing. You don't do anything. You're amazing, and it was great growing up. I think you're awesome.
Like I said, with the family,